Good morning, everyone. Donna Lynn here. Something that has been on my mind a lot this week is motherhood, matriarchs, and navigating that role and the situations that come up with that role. So I did a post on Monday about motherhood and the matriarch and chatted about how, similarly to wolves, we as the matriarch of the family, the mother, the top woman in the family, when you become a mother, that you really hold that dearly and want to defend that. And I think when I became a mother, I was in my early 20s. When I became a mother, I didn't realize how powerful of a role that was. I think realizing you know that becoming a mother is a big deal. It's huge, it's beautiful, it's challenging, it's all the things, but you don't realize necessarily within the family dynamics the power that comes with that. And not power in an overbearing way, just power in that you're assuming a very important, very large role, and you have new aspects of your personality that are brought to the surface and brought to light because of that role. And it's new. There's a lot to learn and a lot to navigate. And so what I wanted to speak to today is how my role as the matriarch in my home has had its challenges with other matriarchs in their home, and how those things, when they come together, they aren't always easy. I think this is a subject that most women, especially my age or new mothers, can relate to. So the first time I really can think, when I think back, the first time I really can see a challenge that I had with that matriarch was before I was a mother, with my mom, because she was the matriarch of our family, of our home. And when I was ready to spread my wings and take off to go move in with my boyfriend, the first time I ever did that, she was very concerned, and rightly so. So she, then we had friction because I was in the phase of ready to dive into my independence and jump into my life as an adult woman. And she was looking to protect me. And so we had some friction with that because I didn't want to be under the umbrella of that matriarch anymore. I was breaking free from that, or attempting to break free from that. So that's the first time I can think of having a challenge with the matriarch, specifically in my family. And then when I became a mother, not even knowing necessarily that I had assumed that role within my own home, then all of a sudden you're the protector, you're the guide, you're the one making choices, you and your husband, or whoever you're with, however that dynamic is, husband, wife, whoever your partner may be, if you have a partner. I also had a phase where I did not have a partner, so I was not just the matriarch, I was the one and only, which again is a different dynamic we can talk about another day. But the next one I can really think of is an ex-mother-in-law of mine. So the partner I had at the time, where I actually became a mother, we ended up having some frictions as well, because what my idea of doing things in a certain way and her idea of doing things was her own way. And we didn't always see eye to eye on how things should be done. And I think that specific dynamic with a woman in her home and a mother-in-law is one of the biggest, sometimes with your own mother too, but mothers or mother-in-laws, I find, are one of the most intense, what's the word I'm looking for? They're the most intense situations to navigate at times, because they're highly emotional. We're very invested, and everybody cares so much. The thing is, what we think is good for ourselves or our family, and what somebody else thinks is good for their life and their family, aren't always the same thing. And when you have two people, I mean men probably go through similar things. I can't necessarily speak to that as well. But when you have two people who are assuming similar roles in their own home and their lives are merging, there's transitions, there's adaptation, and there's times of growth and sometimes painful growth and frictions and different things that come up, and it's not always the easiest to navigate or accept. Like I find, thinking about my past experiences navigating with the matriarchs in my close proximity, and then realizing that I was one in my own home as well, it really opened my eyes to, sometimes we have this perception of feeling like there's a power struggle of some kind, and in a way, sure, that's the case, and some people definitely like to hold that lens of the being in charge or in control or in the power seat, however you want to frame it. But there's other ways to look at it too, and it doesn't always, even if you're engaging with somebody who has that lens, you don't necessarily have to assume the same lens and fight for power or control. Sometimes it can be an observation, and that sense of wanting control often stems from a perceived lack of control. I mean, I can speak to this as a human, as a woman, totally aside from the matriarch conversation as well, because I've felt that need to pull back control and get in the power seat again in my life at different times. But with regards to the matriarch dynamics and navigating those as a matriarch of your own home, if you are a mother, and navigating the other matriarchs around you, if you look at it as a lens of it's okay for in my home for things to be the way that I choose and to navigate things the way I choose, and it's okay in their home for them to navigate, and the matriarch can run her home however she sees fit, just like I'm allowed to. There's no need for power or struggle. It's just different. We can run our lives parallel and sit side by side. And I know this is like the super simplified version of this, so please don't think that I'm minimizing the amount of intensity or magnitude that these situations actually hold, because I very much can appreciate them. So please don't, I'm just simplifying just for conversation's sake. So, I'm just saying that there can be a different lens. There can be a different approach. It doesn't have to be a battle zone. I've fought the battles in my younger years when I was zesty and ready to take on a fight at the first chance, because I had something to prove and I had to figure out how to stand my ground. And since then, since I've matured and learned how to stand my ground in a more gentle way, it doesn't have to be a battle zone. It doesn't have to be a war zone. And those frictions are actually moments of opportunity to learn new ways to do things differently, to embrace and accept the other matriarchs, other people's scope on life, and the other, that to learn that things can be done in so many different ways. And one of the biggest ones for me is accepting that it's okay that things are done differently. Everybody does things in a way that feels best for them. And that's okay. It doesn't all have to be the same way to be the best way. There are many, many different best ways, just like it's okay for me to, have certain boundaries or raise my child in the way that I see is appropriate. Somebody doing that differently isn't wrong. So, and I think this is why, I think the power of matriarchs learning how to navigate together, learning new ways and finding ways to actually come together and unite more is so powerful, whether that be, moms groups or just having friends and, or mother-in-laws, or with your own mother. I know a lot of women have some challenges with their own mothers, whether they're a mother themselves or not, isn't always necessarily relevant, because whether you're a mother or not, if you're the woman of the house, you're the woman of the house. you know, in your role, and there's so many different dynamics, but it can be interesting, and it can really alleviate the tensions and the pressures if the lens shifts from war zone and battle to more of an observation and a seeking to understand. In no way is this always simple or easy, but it's an ongoing effort. And the more matriarchs can come together, moms, friends, women in general, mother-in-laws, mothers, sisters, cousins, whoever, if we can come together and support one another, it's so much more powerful. And it actually elevates us and enables us to fulfill whatever our roles are in life in a better way. We can be better versions of ourselves. We can support our fellow matriarchs and our fellow women to be better versions of themselves, to grow and be supported and held and loved and encouraged to actually do better and face challenges in a different way. So it's all of those things have really been on my mind a lot this week. So I just wanted to hop on and have a quick chat with you guys about that, see how you feel. I'm not able to get back to all of the comments right now, but I will when I post the video and it's all done. I will go back on and I will be sure to read and comment on everybody's comments who shared. So thank you guys so much for listening to my thoughts on motherhood, the matriarch, navigating in maybe new ways, even if it's tiny, small little steps that just create itty bitty shifts for the better. They're worth it. Every millimeter of movement towards a better way helps. It's huge. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Have a beautiful day, loves. Thanks for tuning in.